right, thanks for tuning in again. This is Repulsive TV. Tonight you got a special round robin of guests. You got the full Order of the Fly band minus our drummer, who's off doing drummer things. But you got Tom, you got Abby, Jason, Ralph. Thank you. Good time. And tonight is really special because we're all in makeup because we just recorded our first little commercial to advertise the brand new vinyl release of Hollow Voices of a Dead Generation. This thing took a shit ton of work. We've been working on this. We recorded this album 13 years ago. It was probably one of the most problematic recordings we've ever done, but it really did become like one of our most recognizable albums and kind of our magnum opus for the time that it took place. The new one is going to eclipse it, but until then, this is the one to have. As far as horror punk goes, this is probably one of the few really like true DIY vinyl releases that you can find on this like glorious green spattered vinyl that we have come out with, thanks to Craig from Uncommon Interests, who really worked hard to produce like the coolest looking album he could. This is probably the coolest looking album that I own, and I have a shit ton of records, and this one happens to be my own, which is pretty exciting. When you pre-order the album, can you hold that, Jason? Gotcha. You get brand new, well, remastered album cover art. We did a gatefold vinyl, including an Obi band, so you get an Obi band here.
I just learned what that is.
You get the liner notes included as like a little sort of note to the you know, for some background history. You get the lyrics. Can somebody hold this here? You get to hold that. And then on the gatefold album, you've got the remastered cover art, a brand new backside, because the back that we had on the CD never really like felt exactly like I wanted to make it look. So we redesigned it using some artwork that was period appropriate. This was a t-shirt that we used to have out at the time of the album release, so I figured we could incorporate that and it wouldn't be like some totally brand new thing, but fit definitely thematically with the art of the era. And then we've got the interior of the gatefold featuring two paintings that I did a long time ago that were Side Failure and Side Despair, that relate to the two sides of the album itself. So it's available for pre-order at Uncommon Interests at the Bandcamp for Uncommon Interests, whatever the hell that is. I'll put the link below. We also will have copies of these available at shows. So we're booking some shows right now. We've got one for LA at the Lexington on August 16th. And we're working on setting up some more for those in the local Southern California area, and hopefully maybe some more outside of town. Mm-hmm. But so that's the brand new, super exciting news. And make sure you go to Craig's Bandcamp so you can get a copy of this bad boy, because this is freaking awesome. There's only 200, so you better go fast.
Yeah, and then we're not a band to, well, reproduce to make more copies, at least not of originals. So if more do come out, I promise you they'll never be the designs that we have, the color of the vinyl, they'll only be those 200. We've never ever in the past we've promised that. Like
this particular colorway is only going to be available for this run. We might do another run later, but it'll be a different color. So if you want these colors, which is the true first run colors, it's a cool collector's item. Plus, it's just like the best looking record you're going to own.
And it might be worth something someday. I know that
some of our crap ends up being worth a lot.
Yeah. If you try to buy Exquisite online, there's like one still and it's like $100.
Yeah, so you might as well get in on the ground floor.
And I've got
flip
four,
it
and I'll sell you
5
one
years
for
from now.
$50. Yeah,
I have about 8.
Yeah, but if you are a fan of us, first off, thank you. But it's been a long time that we've been doing this, and we are actually approaching 20 years. And that 20-year mark, this is a good way to get there. And we are recording a whole new album right now that'll be coming out. And it doesn't seem like, I don't feel like we've never gone away. Everyone seems to think we have. But we really haven't gone away. And we'd like to try to get back into it, just older, I guess.
Yeah. More mature.
So
like a fine cheese.
Yeah. So
or wine.
Feel free to get back into us. We'd like to get back into you. Into you being at our show. Just kidding. You guys, I've been drinking. Just kidding. Iced tea. But I was just talking about it tonight. It's cool. We don't get to do this often. And I know Ralph and I come out here and talk on this couch quite a bit. And we try to do as much as we can. And we'd like to do this more often because this is a family thing, not a family show. We're aware of that. But it's kind of cool to keep us all together. And the funniness that goes on when we all talk is cool. So I'm glad you guys are here. I'd like to invite you into our games. Ralph, by the way, what are the horror punk guys?
Oh yeah, so
I totally forgot about that.
as a real quick, so last episode we introduced two games plus sort of a third entry into it. So the first one was Jason and I decided to trade records that meant a lot to us growing up, or sort of some of our favorite albums that the other one of us probably didn't really ever give it a chance. So
Right.
I gave him a Skinny Puppy album. He gave me a K-Tel compilation album, and we both had a chance to listen to him, and we've got notes and stuff for it. We also played this game that Jason came up with, where it's a randomly generated city in America, randomly generated genre, and we decided to look up a band. So last episode, we randomly generated Hialeah, Florida,
Right.
and the genre was alternative. And so, with a little bit of digging, we discovered a band called Dyne Side from Hialeah, Florida, and here's a little clip of what they sound like here. All right. So there you go. We do want to do a quick little interview with them. We sent them an email. They're totally into the idea of coming on and talking to us. So we're going to do that next time we record a show. They couldn't do it tonight, which is fine. But their music is fantastic. It's definitely got a heavy aspect plus a really melodic choruses. They fall under the alternative umbrella, but I'd say more they've got a lot of definitely a punk, sort of a hardcore kind of a sound.
Yeah, I would definitely. I kind of want to see us start supporting bands like that in the craziest way possible. So I'd like to go ahead and do another one with the two of you, if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
We'll make it your homework. So Tom,
All right.
you hit the generate button. Tom generated the number 4. All right, ready, Abby? Let's see, random U.S. city generators. Go ahead and hit right there where it says rerun. Whatever number 4 is, that is our city of choice. The city that we are looking at is Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh,
we almost got Anaheim, California. Would have been
really easy. We could have driven down.
Out of Norfolk.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of bands.
Norfolk's
that
a pretty
Virginia
big
area. Yeah.
Yes, but are there a lot of bands that fall into one of these categories?
Can I hit it?
Let's do
Yes. Wait, hold on, Ralph. That was an accidental.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Unless it lands on a good one.
Okay,
Nope,
just
don't look
you can
at
keep
it.
tapping it and it keeps spinning.
Oh, there you go.
Spin it.
And it lands on electronic.
Yes.
So we need an electronic
Nailed
band
it.
from Norfolk, Virginia.
This is made for me. It's my home state and my favorite genre right now. Perfect.
So the 4 of us, I think
find-
we should all 4 find them.
Okay.
Now talk about them, and then come together, and then we'll have a battle of the bands.
Oh, I love it.
You see what I mean? Where
totally.
each one of us, we get to pick one of those bands.
Okay.
And then we'll put it out there to see who has the better choice.
All right.
Just make it kind of a battle royale, I think.
I think it's perfect.
Hey, I just made that part up right now.
The game keeps
Off the
evolving.
cuff.
Okay, so Norfolk, Virginia, electronic music. I already love it. But before we move on to whatever the bands we discover, make sure you check out, please, if you are watching this, look up Dyne Side. I'll put a link to one of their videos below so you can check them out. They're really good, and we'll have them on next episode so that we can chat with one of the guys in the band.
Okay. You got something else?
Yes, one more thing.
my God.
Sorry. So, on top of this, since we do fall under the horror punk sort of umbrella of genres, right? I also decided, you know what? We need to reconnect with some of the other horror punk bands that are out there that we haven't had a chance to meet. So, I've been putting out the feelers, trying to find other horror punk bands that might be wanting, somebody to review their stuff, take a chance to listen to it. And so I put out the feelers, and one of the bands that got back to us, the first one was called Ghoul Gasm. and they're another band that I do want to interview too, so we're going to try and get them on the air next episode as well. But here's a quick little sample of them. Okay, and they definitely have. So after listening to them, I listened to their full EP. Kind of detect a Blitzkid vibe, right? That's my feeling on it. They're not as much on the Misfits tip. They're not as much into the metal side of things. They're definitely sort of in what I consider the sort of like more, I guess like sort of upbeat epitaph punk beat. With like the Blitzkid flavor that I think, Blitzkid being like one of the biggest bands in the horror punk genre that really like left a really indelible mark, and I think inspired a lot of other bands as well. I feel like Ghoul Gasm is a band that sort of is inspired by them. I'm not sure yet because I haven't had a chance to talk to the guys, so we'll talk to them next episode as well and see like what their influences are and sort of like a lot of their background, where they're from, all that kind of stuff.
So I know that in the past, Ralph and I have talked about we had an episode where we discussed horror punk in general, and I know with Tom and Abby, we have never actually heard one if you like it, or if you just like wearing the makeup, or what brought you to it, or I mean, because like me, I don't like it anymore. It's not that I don't like it. It's like it's not my genre. It is because I dress like this and because I do. But like, what is it about it? And we'll start with you. What is it about? Like, who are the bands you like? What are the bands you like? Do you like the bands?
Yeah. Why don't we do like our top 3, like most sort of formative bands that led us to want to perform in music?
Oh, okay.
In general?
In general?
Yeah, just this.
We're good with that. Yeah, because that's a completely different influence.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
true.
have to be horror punk. I don't think like any of us really come at this with But
Okay, sorry.
oh, good, excited.
You know what we should do? Okay. Next episode.
Okay.
Or the one after that. We build a super group. We all get to build our own super group.
Ooh.
Oh, perfect. I love it.
All right.
All right.
Hey, you know what we also should do
homework is build your super
So
group
we got.
and be ready.
We also have keyboardist, bass player, guitar player. We should come up with our top 5 favorite of each.
Well,
You got to do some research.
me and you, and then I don't know any other ones. That one guy that played like this.
Nah,
I liked him.
I've been wanting.
This guy is cool. I like him.
Yeah.
So Richie
I like
Blackmore
this.
from Deep Purple
Yeah, I like this guy. He's cool too. All right. Yeah. Okay. So
explains a lot.
top 3. We're just there to look good. We don't care.
So top 3 bands.
Top 3 bands.
Top
Top
3
5
bands.
favorite of your respective instrument.
Oh,
Or 3.
not
top
for
3.
this.
Yeah, just whatever.
I can't.
Yeah, right now.
Whatever. Right now?
What am I
Yeah.
doing?
For
You got it.
now.
I want to do it now.
For right now.
Let's do it. Let's go just round robin.
For what
It's
right
over.
now?
For right now.
It's
No. For right now,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 bands that were most influential in you being in a band. The ones that you were like, oh, I want to be like that person.
Yeah,
Or I
perfect.
want to be I want to be a musician because of
Bands
them.
that led you to want to become a musician. Top 3.
Top 3. Go.
Tool,
Mhm.
9 Inch Nails, Tori Amos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Is there any specific reason for any of those? Particularly Tori Amos. We've talked about 9 Inch Nails a lot. I'm not sure.
We're gonna come talk about
Tori
that.
Amos is actually
in a minute.
one of the most amazing keyboard piano players.
Someone just made another list. Look at that.
So, if you want to talk keyboard
Mhm.
piano players, that's probably
Perfect.
my penultimate.
What about you, Sunshine?
What started the whole thing in high school was my brother used to listen to Metallica all the time, and so I started listening to that, and that was my introduction into heavier music, and so that was the reason I bought my first guitar. But it went on to other bands in the heavier genre. Opeth was a big one for me because they were just very technical, and In Flames was huge for me. Even though I ended up playing more punk rock music, because it's easier.
I know somebody that was a guitar tech for a little while, I think.
Yes, we do supposedly know
Yeah, I
someone
think
that
so.
was their guitar tech.
Like maybe in Antarctica.
Right.
They're in their Antarctica tour season.
It was a long
Somewhere in
far
like,
away.
It was a Scandinavian country. I know they're in
Right.
like military vehicles.
Right.
On like an iceberg.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Sweet.
So what is your 3?
My 3 would be Alice Cooper, for sure. Ah, man, it's tough. Okay, so Alice Cooper. I would go. Okay, so on the fence between whether it would be Nine Inch Nails or Skinny Puppy, but probably as far as it's got to be Nine Inch Nails. So Alice Cooper, Nine Inch Nails, and then Misfits has to be in there. So that led me to really want to play music. And in fact, it's the Misfits, the Mike Graves era. That was that first time I saw them was like probably it was sort of like the way I'm sure the Clash felt seeing the Ramones, where it was just like every time the Ramones played somewhere, like 50,000 punk bands popped up. I was way too young to see the Misfits the first time around, and I knew about them only from like friends that had like zines or something that talked about them, or I had a friend that had like an older brother had this huge like epic record collection that had like a bunch of stuff. But that first time we saw them, that was like what made me just go, holy shit, that was the best concert I've ever seen. So that made me like just want to do like that made me even know or care about horror punk at all, really.
All right.
I'd have to say, to cut in real quick,
Mhm.
that Order is probably like my 4th.
No, thanks.
If I was to pick a band, because no, like
You're already in the band.
I know.
You're
I'm not
Sorry.
polishing.
I don't like this guy. I know. I actually
Yeah,
agree
see,
with
he
him.
was waiting for me to say that to
Well,
begin
no,
with.
I wasn't, but it totally
Like,
makes sense.
Right.
You
Well, no,
already-
because
you
like
already passed the test, buddy.
I was in a band before Order the Fly, but it was not something that happened. We didn't play a lot of shows and things like that. And I used to come see Order the Fly at the
Showcase.
The showcase, yeah, in Corona many times. And
he was in a band called the Band of the Dead.
I was, and we played a show together, and they were just the nicest people at the time, and I was like, holy shit, like, these are the reasons, like, these are the people that I want to interact with and continue doing music with and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, you guys definitely had a thing there.
Yeah, I agree.
And my 18-year-old at the time.
If you weren't in the band, I'd ask you to join right now.
Aw.
If you were a lady,
Right?
I'd try to take you in the back.
Be running a train.
Hey, don't you... forget it.
Jason, what's your 3?
Okay, she drives trains, and you want to
You don't
run a
drive a
train.
train.
She conducts a
What do you mean?
train.
You ride a train.
Conducting
you wanna
and
ride a
running.
train
You
with her.
run a train.
Oh, you
run
run
a
a
You
train.
run a train.
See? I know. That's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Tom.
You're very welcome.
So,
Run a
Here we
train
go. Here's the
anytime you
most
want.
All right.
mine's
Selection.
dumb. All right. So when I was a kid, there were 2 friends. There was like 4 of us that hung out, but 2 in particular, myself, argued over who was which member of Kiss. However,
Oh yeah, Kiss was the other way.
however, we didn't like ever
couldn't
pretend
just-
to be them. We would like sit around at Glenn's house, and we would sit there and like each of us were a member of Kiss, and it's like, oh yeah, go get this, oh go get that.
It's like you played house, but you were Kiss.
Yeah, but we had people waiting on us that weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound weird? It was just like 3 of us that were like, oh, I've got 3 tigers. Bring in the tigers. Like, it was just like silly. Like, it was like pretending to be these ultra rich guys, right? But I don't know that was an influence.
still do that.
Obviously, their visual side of it was. And then my high school, junior year in high school was when I found out about Guar. My senior year,
That's the
dang
one
it.
I thought you were
My
in.
senior year was when
These are 2 that were I was
Chad
on the fence.
Netherton was like this band, and I was like, I'd heard of them, and then I got way into them, and that's when I realized I wanted to perform, and I wanted to do like that, like I wanted to do musical or
Theatrical.
theatrical stuff. So I really was like, damn, that's what I want to do. But the strangest one that got me there was actually the Go-Go's, and this is a very unknown. You're about to hear something about me that might make you uncomfortable. No, I'm just kidding. I used to get out of the shower, and I had the Go-Go's Greatest Hits on CD, and I was playing it, and there was the song Head Over Heels.
Yeah, you used to cover that.
And there's that
with
bass
Zero.
line, and I would be there, typically naked, And I'm
Nice.
trying to think I would do the...
Nice.
I would think I would do the... I can't remember. I want to say I was.
Right.
But
Keep trying like a
but I would just constantly I would do that, and then I would rewind it, and I would continually walk to see how I looked doing that part, and over and over and over.
Right.
Like to see what I look like as a performer.
Using your dingus as the base.
Yeah, no, not
Stretch
really.
it way
I think
out.
I did maybe once in a while. I was like catgut. Just kidding.
It's like a wash basin and a friggin'.
But no,
It's your
yeah,
first stand-up
But
bass.
We're gonna do that on the next album. It's gonna be tough to record, but
there
I got a
was
contact
that.
mic. We'll just slap it on there and see what we get.
Right, and then obviously after that, the Adamant, the front man side
There
of
it is.
Adamant, and Ian Dury actually came quite a bit later, but of Adamant and all the videos I saw of him was like, okay, I need to be that guy. And then when I joined Order the Fly, I was singing for another band, and that's and I was stealing Mike Grave-esque stuff, so I will say that was an influence, but only for the movements.
Yeah.
You know, but the Adamant thing was because I wanted to be just like him.
And then Danny,
Yeah.
what do you like? What else does Danny like?
Smashing
AFI.
Pumpkins.
AFI.
Pumpkins.
He likes Smashing
But that's not how
Pumpkins.
Danny sounds, actually.
That's a total
But
guess.
I'm gonna crop in a Danny face and then do like a little like Monty Python just mouth thing. So, Danny, what do you like? AFI, Smashing Pumpkins,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Oh.
I don't like anything else.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Right.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, that's our one missing number. He's out he's supporting the nation, doing important work.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. That was very.
I like that. That was good.
I know.
And that was awesome. And you know, the best thing about it is that it's every band that everybody picked, other than Opeth, which I didn't know that you were into. I would have selected. I would have picked for everybody. I would have thought NoFX instead of in Opeth's
It's
place.
funny because I started listening to NoFX well after I was already playing music. Like, I was a metal kid growing up and stuff because of the influence of my older brother. And I hated the punk kids in high school. Like, we
Yeah.
weren't friends, and, you know, I was the tall boots and the fishnet and the makeup kind of kid. And, you know, listening to metal, and all the punk kids hated me, I hated them, so I didn't listen to punk at all until...
Still both
Yeah.
hate him.
Yeah, until after high school, and that's when I started listening to bands like NoFX.
That's pretty awesome.
All right, quick runner-up. Throw out a runner-up, everybody.
A runner-up.
Runner-up. Who couldn't you fit in your list?
There's way too many
Of
of
this
them.
one?
Runner-up. Yeah, one runner-up. We're gonna do a runner-up.
I threw
Give
everything
me a
out there.
second.
I went with 5 picks. I
That's
broke
true.
You
rules.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
he fucked it up.
Black Flag. My runner-up. I would have thrown it in there. Didn't have room for it. Okay.
Bands that
I get the
influence-
runner-up.
I don't know.
It's
Just
just
another
you.
one that's like super important to you. That was it? Just me. Black Flag.
Okay.
Super important.
Okay. This has nothing to do with being important to me. But it's when I tasted the first time I tasted
Ooh,
it.
I like it. It's like citrus.
Yeah. That's exactly what it tasted
Salty.
like. When I was in like 7th or 8th grade, I went to Universal Studios, and you used to be able to go in and make music videos. And my friend Paul Zambrano, who is still friends kind of on the Facebooks, and I were real big into like kind of the hip hop thing, and we went in and did Bobby Brown, Every Little Step,
Awesome.
and I actually have it on VHS.
Fabulous. We need to
I
release it.
have it on
Yeah.
VHS, and it can be
Let's
added
put it on
to
the next
Yes.
album. All right, we'll
And
put it right
you
here.
would go in this booth, and you could either sing it or lip sync to it. And all we did was went in there, and I had on my Cavarici pants, and
I don't
I'm
even know
like,
what that is. Sounds
Oh,
expensive.
Z-Cavarici.
look up Z Cavarici. Do yourself a favor.
Okay.
So my Cavaricis, and you know my pants were rolled up, and we just went in there, and I'm pretty sure we just did the Running Man for
The whole time.
3 minutes.
That's all anybody did in the 90s.
Yeah. And
You're
then we
good.
did the Kid and Play dance, and then Paul like tries to do that jump through his foot,
Oh,
and
no.
he catches and he face plants. Except that the video's kind of doing these cool effects, so you don't
Nice.
you just see him
Oh,
hit,
yeah.
and you see him hit the ground and bounce back up. He's like hit ground, back on his feet.
That's
So,
amazing.
but I'll have to
Very
bring
spry.
and that was actually like the first like I showed everyone that came over that tape. I was like,
awesome.
oh, this is like my audition tape. So that does exist. I'll have to bring that out.
Yeah.
Please do.
That's what started this.
Okay, let's do our favorite respective music or musicians and the instrument that we play in the band. Can we do that?
I already told you mine.
Sure.
Let's do it. Top 3 keyboard players. Tori Amos.
Top 3 keyboard players?
Yeah.
You're going to have to give me a minute here.
Okay. Top 3 guitar players.
That
Never
are
mind.
yeah.
Can we do it? Just try it. Off the top of your head.
That are
like a Rorschach
influential
test.
to us in our playing.
Just you.
You know, okay. When
Your favorite 3 that you like emulate when you play.
when I play, it's not even
Yeah.
a thing anymore. Like I said,
Or just like what made you want to play as far as guitar specifically.
Again, the very first like thing that I ever made me want to play guitar was listening to Metallica, and I always thought James Hetfield was fucking awesome in high school, and that was great. And then listening to In Flames in my car, I had a little tape deck, and I listened to Colony fucking until that tape lit on fire and didn't play anymore. So like Jesper is like has some of the coolest guitar riffs I had ever heard at the time. Still, nothing I play at all
But
resembles anything like that. But
play.
yeah, that's definitely why I wanted to play guitar.
Perfect. All right. What do you got? Give me 2 keyboard players that made you inspired to play keyboards.
That was 3.
3.
Now you
Well,
go.
he only picked 2.
I only
so
got 2.
Well,
Sorry.
number 1. Okay, so I'll go with number 3.
3 to 5.
The third most important up to the number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Number 3 was Eddie Van Halen.
Jump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because number 2 was my piano teacher, who
Oh.
was cool enough to teach me the popular songs of the day, happened to be Jump.
Very cool.
And number 1 was my mom,
Uh-huh.
who was a piano player. So when I was at home, my mom would play piano, and I wanted to play piano. My brother played drums, the other one played guitar, and there was a piano there, and my parents would buy me an instrument, so my mom would always play. She played Music Box Dancer, and I was like, so she is my biggest inspiration as a
I love it.
keyboard player. Lou Jr., love that guy. And then Eddie Van Halen was like the first one I remember seeing on a video playing, and it's just like, ooh.
I love it. I love it.
I know, wasn't that exciting?
That is exciting.
I know, because it's my mom.
What do you got?
Top bill.
You know, I never really thought about playing an instrument.
Mm-hmm. Why
was
did you
kind of
start
thrown-
playing keyboards? at
Yeah, what? Did I have a
let's discuss-
choice in what my
let's discuss what
instrument was?
Yeah,
3 minutes of what?
It was delivered to you.
3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a choice in what
Yeah, there you go,
instrument
I
I
Okay.
Are there any keyboard players that like really like fire you up and make you go, "That's awesome! I want to play that."
Or even bands that have keyboards in them. Not necessarily
Nine
like you
Inch
know the
Nails.
keyboard players.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Good. There you go. Thank you. Excellent.
Marilyn Manson.
Good. Excellent. Good. Okay. So we can go Trent Reznor, Pogo,
Yes.
and then Tori Amos.
Sweet.
Solid.
Bass player.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been wanting to talk about this.
You got 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Talk
you've
about
got
it.
2
Not
minutes.
even.
Peter Hook. He's number 3
Yeah, yeah.
from Joy Division. Great bass tone, awesome bass runs, and he's like very melodic player. Fat Mike is a super underrated bass player. I think he does like a variety of different tones. Super melodic. I think the fact that he writes like most of NoFX's stuff makes his bass playing a lot more upfront and it supports a lot of the guitar parts. And then the be all end all of bass player is Gene Simmons. As much as he's probably a total turd,
No,
not for this,
I don't
not
think
for
he is. I don't
for
think he's a
tone. Gene Simmons' tone, especially later in his career, is like unstoppable. It's like just distorted enough. It's super, like he's a really underrated bass player. As much as like he gets like all of his like weird personal stuff aside, you know, and banging a million chicks, overshadows his. He's actually like a really good bass player, and he and Paul really are like the John Lennon, Paul McCartney of Kiss, and I think Gene is like a super underrated bass player. So those 3 guys.
Awesome.
But there's like 10,000 more. Dennis Dunaway from Alice
Our
Cooper.
producer is.
I got Beefcake from freaking Guar. Okay, what?
Our producer's saying Uno.
We're gonna pause it. We're gonna
Wait a
come back.
second. Beefcake.
Casey Orr is back.
Well, okay, ready? Here's
Adorable.
Norfolk. Where is Guar from in Virginia?
Richmond.
They're from Richmond. But they're not electronic.
True, but I was curious.
All right,
Electronic.
we're back, and we were talking about Beefcake.
Beefcake.
What's the news?
I don't know. Tom's the one that had the news.
I know. They just played a festival out in like Chicago or something like that. And it was some random festival I've never even heard of. But Casey Orr played as Beefcake.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Other people
So-
posted about it and talked about how that Casey Orr is back and this and that. So I don't know if he is a permanent member in Guar again, or if he was just doing it for this, or what exactly is happening. But that's awesome, you know.
So
The bass players are taking over that band.
Yeah.
and 2 beefcakes, potentially 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Mike Dirks.
They're not just and Mike Dirks.
That's awesome.
lots of beefcake.
Sweet.
Lots of beefcake in that band.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where were you? You were going. So, oh no, you said beefcake. So
That
which
was it.
beefcake then?
That's a
Let's
good point.
talk about
Yeah, which
impersonators.
beefcake?
Mike Bishop.
On.
Or who played on Scumdogs?
That was Mike Bishop, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Casey Orr was after that.
Yeah, Casey Orr was like Carnival of Chaos era.
No.
So yeah, definitely Mike Bishop. Just specifically for the one bar in Horror of Yig where the that right there made me go, I gotta buy a bass. I have to have this.
I'm gonna just segue.
Okay. Perfect.
Sounds good. About Beefcake being a character, right?
Yeah.
Multiple people.
Oh, here we go.
Here it goes.
All right, Caden, if you're watching this,
Stop watching.
earmuffs.
Yes. Yes. We'll make sure she
I think
never
my eyeballs
watches
are on
this.
fire.
So
Feels good.
last
I like crying.
2 nights ago, I was in Las Vegas and I saw a show, and I paid money to see a show. I'm just going to keep it vague for her sake.
Yeah.
Of a specific person that was on television that was famous for himself, but being a character that he plays. Except when I showed up and paid $600 for VIP tickets, it was an impersonator, but they didn't tell anyone that. So we paid to see the real thing, saw an impersonator, and I was essentially told that I couldn't get my money back because I had already seen the show, yet they never said anything about it being that it's not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, it's like Danny Zuko in Grease. Anyone can play him, but that's not what you're advertising. If you show me a poster, a billboard for a Grease reunion, and you show John Travolta as Danny Zuko, and then
You get
I
Rorschach.
show up and
Rorschach.
and I get Rorschach.
Rorschach.
Yeah, and I show up and it's Donny Osmond, and no offense, I like Donny Osmond, I guess, but it's not John Travolta, and you go, well, yeah, but it's a character. It's more of a feeling. With bands, a lot of bands are touring currently. Black Flag's a perfect example.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, because I've had people say, dude, you want to go see Black Flag? And I said, no.
No,
And
same
they
thing
go,
as-
now,
Oh, this is
Henry Rollins is singing for them, right?
Nope.
No.
He doesn't perform
That's
at
what,
all anymore.
No, that's what
That's
they're
what you-
saying to me.
Right.
And I go, no. And it's like, oh, well, wasn't he the singer of Black Flag? It's like, okay, so why do you want to see Black Flag? Because of Henry Rollins,
Yeah.
because of the name Black Flag,
Right.
or so. Where do you draw the line financially?
As far as
when you
getting,
feel
like,
you
all
were
these-
ripped off? Yeah, because I saw Frankie Goes to Hollywood once. They're the ones that do the song "Relax."
Yes.
Literally, the only person there that was ever in the band was a studio musician keyboard player that had the rights to tour with the name. There wasn't a single member of the band that you could have recognized. And I went, was at a club. And
I'll
it
be
was
honest,
like
there's not a
$10
single
to get in.
band that I could recognize at all. So
Sure.
I would have been
Well,
okay with
but
it.
you know what I mean. So where did I give enough for you guys to talk about?
Yeah, I totally
See
do.
where I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
to?
So, okay, Kiss is a good example of this because that's sort of the rumor is that they're going to eventually be replaced with their own kids. Like, Gene's kid would replace Gene.
I think I'm okay with that.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at.
Why do they need to
If
keep
you're
going?
making it
Yeah, why not?
if you're making it well known in advance,
If
that
it's, yeah, I guess.
Gene
it's sort
Simmons'
of,
kid is going to play Gene Simmons' part.
Yeah,
Because
sort of.
they've already established
They-
with Peter
one-
and Ace
yeah.
that those are characters. Not those two
Yep, yep,
people. And if you want to complain that those guys aren't in the band, well, we've known for a long time they're not in the band.
right. Well, they haven't been in the band longer than they were in the band. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so, but they were the formative members. I mean, Ace is super important to the original Kiss sound. Peter,
I agree.
less so, but still, visually, I think the cat thing was cool. But I don't know. I think it's a little weird that they wear those versions of the makeup. I could
agree.
see where the original guys, because they designed him, would be kind of pissed off. Especially Ace, he kind of feels like,
It was
Like, what the
him.
fuck, man?
That
I
is
invented
that actually goes exactly with my point. Is that is his persona.
yeah, exactly.
The persona that I paid to see
Yeah.
wasn't there.
No, exactly. And
If-
Space Ace he did have like the science fiction-y makeup, but he was also kind of a space case anyway, and kind
Like, he
of so it was like
created
his
that.
personality. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I can see on one hand, I get that Kiss owns the rights, and the two other guys kind of fucked up and were on drugs or whatever, so I had to kick them out. But I liked it better when it was like Eric Carr looked cool as the Fox. Vinnie Vincent, I thought, looked cool as the Ankh or whatever the fuck he was.
The Ankh. Yeah.
That was awesome. So it'd been cool.
What a
and
silly thing to be.
Like I read an interview with Paul, like where he was talking about why they decided to have Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer do the old school makeup, and he was basically like, look, we own those characters. People know Kiss as this makeup. So why do we? If we keep changing it, it doesn't make any sense. So I can understand kind of a little bit from Paul's like point of view, but I think it just would have been so much cooler to give each one of them their own thing that they could call their own. And I thought like Eric Carr's a great example, and Vinnie Vincent is a good example, where Vinnie Vincent obviously looked really Ace Frehley-ish with the metallic. Instead of silver, it was gold. It was an Ankh instead of a starburst or whatever. Instead of a cat, it was a fox. You know, it was cool. It was sort of like a riff on the same motif. So you could have gone with it. Yeah, I just think that it would have been. I think that would have been more interesting. I would have liked it more if Tommy Thayer had like a lightning bolt or some shit on his face, you know, and Eric Singer had like a fucking, I don't know, dog face or whatever, wolf, something. I don't know. It just would have been cooler, I think, than pretending to be Peter Criss and pretending to be Ace Frehley is kind of lame. But with Guar, I think it kind of works. I think that's kind of expected.
Retired dead guys,
Right?
They physically died.
Beefcake has been the only one that's replaced the character Beefcake.
Yeah.
Every other character that has left the band has passed
Died,
away,
basically,
and
yeah.
so that character has died
Well, no, 'cause
as well.
I think the
What
guy
about
that was
Jizmac?
doing, I think he
Wasn't there multiple Jizmacs?
and there's been multiple Slime Enstras or whatever.
Oh, I think she was the only one.
No, there was
And then they brought
Guar
in
Woman, and then there was Slime Enstra.
Oh, and that wasn't the same person.
It wasn't Danny, whatever.
Danny Stamp.
No.
No.
Danny.
But if she's a different character, just if she's named
It's not
something,
Danielle
then
Stamp.
It might be, but she wasn't the original Guar Woman.
Oh. So, what's your view on that? Then? What are your thoughts?
I don't
You
know. I
have
guess
thoughts on,
I think
on just the idea.
it matters less in Guar because if Guar, I wouldn't say that Mike, as much as Mike Dirks is a great guitar player, I wouldn't say that is a really recognizable guitar sound. Whereas Ace Frehley, when he solos, it's a really recognizable sound. It's this sloppy blues kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like you recognize it.
But
so it becomes weird.
But to the common person who's just going to a Kiss concert,
yeah, I mean,
they don't.
They wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
I guess not.
What about and this is? Are you a Cinderella fan?
Yeah.
Not really. Okay.
I am, but I don't know anybody in the band.
Well, their lead singer tours as himself now, Tom Kiefer or something like that, of Cinderella, and all he does is Cinderella songs. I think he may have had a solo album.
It's like Sebastian Bach.
Right.
With Skid Row.
Would you rather go see Sebastian Bach or Skid Row without Sebastian Bach?
See, that's a tough one.
You can only go see one. The entire band without the guy that
That was
made
like-
them famous.
That was
or
a big part about
or
Pink
the guy
Floyd.
that made them famous.
Without the rest
Probably
of the
with
band.
a bunch of young guys that are just like in the... Yeah.
It's like when Roger Waters split Pink Floyd, and he would tour
I
doing
think I would
Roger
just
Waters.
pass.
Yeah. Huh. I just saw Oingo without Danny Elfman in the...
I would see
that's
that.
not-
Everything else went
Oingo
against them,
Boingo.
though.
I mean, I'd see
It
everything.
was a lot of the guys. Hi.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, though, I think I'd rather see the original lead singer if they were very recognizable. Like Pink Floyd, I'd like to see Roger Waters probably more than I'd like to see David Gilmour and Nick Mason and. Rick
Is
Rubin.
it just because you don't want to see them in that stage?
No, because their record that they did right after Roger Waters quit Pink Floyd in kind of a spectacular fashion, he recorded an album, and they recorded an album under the name Pink Floyd, which he was pissed off about. The Pink Floyd album, soared to the top of the charts, and the Roger Waters album kind of languished. Even though I think neither one really sounds very Pink Floyd-ish. I think I would rather at that time, it was like, what was it? Freaking Learning to Fly, I guess, was that the one? That was the song.
You're talking to me like I've listened.
That was
to
a song on it.
willingly.
I'm trying to think of the name of the album, but might have been Learning to Fly. I can't remember. But anyways, it was either that or Radio Chaos by Roger Waters, and I would have rather have seen Roger Waters doing Radio Chaos because his voice is so incredibly recognizable on Pink Floyd songs, but so is David Gilmour, who is the guitar player, and his guitar playing is super recognizable. So they're so recognizable for the band to have either one of them do their own thing ended up being kind of, it would be weird. But the Pink Floyd album won out, I think, just with the name recognition. So, and David Gilmour sang a lot of the songs anyway, so he had like a recognizable voice as well and sang a lot of the hits. So it was okay for them to tour, but it would have been, I mean, it's like a tough call to see, like, to pick and choose, because Roger Waters was the writer, especially like The Wall, which was like their biggest album. You know, he wrote that whole thing, was very personal to him, and then he left the band and they just continued to tour with that, you know, repertoire. I don't know, it's weird.
How important is it when there's someone... Guar's a good example. They have a new lead singer, but obviously it was in the...
A new lead singer, but an old
How
band
much
member.
does it... Do you find it cringy when they sing
Their songs?
the other
person.
person? I mean, Dave Brockie was
Not
Dave
really.
Brockie.
I don't think the songs...
But
I don't find
audio-wise,
cringy.
when you hear it,
Oh, yeah.
do you just is it like...
He's got a much
'cause
more,
I have
like-
a really hard time with that.
Nah, I think I like the songs, but I think what Dave Brockie brought wasn't just his voice was like whatever. He was like a comedian,
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's like
So-
the stuff in between the songs that was like hilarious.
So if Lothar has his own character, which
Yeah.
he clearly does, and I
Right.
do appreciate it, I consider them a completely different band than the other Guar.
I still consider Guar
To-
just an evolution of Guar.
Right. So if I were to go see them, it's just like
Yeah.
the Misfits. You have to assume that look, it's a different lead singer, and it's a different band.
Yeah.
You
But not
have to
really.
go with that attitude, right?
I
So
guess.
how easy is it for you to
Separate it.
audio-wise be forgiving of the difference in sound? Because I have a hard time with that. I can't go listen to
I'm super
Lothar
forgiving.
sing a Dave Brockie song where it's just like, God, that doesn't even I can't get past that. I would
Right.
totally support him still. I still love him to death, but I can't get past that. Like, this does not sound like him at all.
Right.
You know?
He has like a southern rock sound.
Yeah,
And I feel like
he's got like an
he's-
old school metal, like Wasp or something
Yeah.
kind of.
But I wouldn't expect them to not do those songs.
Nah,
Right.
They have to.
I was super
But-
forgiving. I like honestly like I don't understand why like when Mike Graves took over the Misfits, Glenn Danzig wasn't in the audience like that's fucking cool. Because he was already doing his own thing. Why would you be such a douche about it? You know, instead of like fuck this guy, fuck. And
How
all
could
the
they
fans,
go on without
it's like,
me?
just, who cares? You're not
Right.
doing it. Let somebody else do it. It's kind of fun. Like if I quit or like had my neck ripped out or whatever, and I couldn't do stuff, and I had to like
That
get my
that
hands
was
chopped
fun.
off.
So I might quit or my neck get ripped out with my hands chopped off, and I'll be like,
If a bear eats my hands and bites my neck and I can't do anything, and I
I'll
have
be
to
like
sit in the
this.
audience, and you guys get a different dude to play bass and sing, I think I would love to watch it. I think it'd be fun. It wouldn't bother me at all. I wouldn't be like, fuck that guy, man. I wrote that shit. It's just so weird and covetous to be like, to not let somebody else just like still have fun. I don't know. And I think that Motley Crue, which isn't like a favorite band of mine at all, but the one album they did with John Bush or whatever the guy with Hooligan's Holiday, that's like my favorite Motley Crue song ever is Hooligan's Holiday. And it doesn't really sound like Motley Crue. And I know that they probably never played that afterwards with Vince Neil when he came back, but regardless of like whatever like led him to quit and come back, you'd think that he'd still be like, it's kind of cool, you know, to see the band do something different. I don't know. It's like just more stuff. It's not like it doesn't take away from the stuff that exists. It's just like more new shit. So like, why not just kind of roll with it and have fun? I don't know. I'm into like when bands like flip around and do new things and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. Unless it's like the Kiss thing, which kind of bothers me a little bit with the makeup. But it's only visually. I don't mind two new guys being in there because they've had two new guys in there since like 1980, you know?
yeah. Well, I think that if a band is evolving, then that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once you've gotten to a certain point, no, I think it's up to the person going. If I'm
Yeah.
going to see the Beach
Yeah.
Boys right now, I know there's only one of them, maybe.
Yeah.
And
like
John Stamos.
Mike Love.
And I'm only going to look at John Stamos because he's not getting any older. He's getting better looking.
True.
It's
probably
He's in
crazy.
the Beach Boys?
Yeah, he's been in the Beach Boys since like the late 80s.
Yeah, he's like in and out with them all
When
the
the hell
time.
have I been?
So I'm curious, like, it's up to the person that goes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we just went to that Oingo Boingo thing, it was
Yeah.
the drummer from Oingo Boingo, the guitarist, the original keyboard player, the sax player, the bass player, and just with some kid singing, and the kid was actually really good. The set list choices were awful.
God awful.
It was the worst set list. Like
Really?
you would have even been. And keep in mind, I've given into the dark side. I listen to everything after dark at the end of the tunnel. I'll still listen to that now. But it was just like every other song was like, what is this song?
Really weird.
What is this? You know.
This is all B-sides.
Yeah.
But the audio in that place didn't help them out either. However, I mean, I still enjoyed myself. Tom saw the show for free.
I did not pay to get in there.
Yeah. That's because their security was about as lax as I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Tom just walked in like he was going to the bar, and then just...
Yeah, the group of people we went with, they were like, Tom, do we have to stand in line to get a ticket? And I said, I don't know. And they said, find out. And I said, okay. And just walked past the ticket guy and walked over to the bar and sat down. And that was it.
Perfect.
Everyone else paid for a ticket, and I did not.
Suckers.
Yeah,
So-
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We have anything else?
No, I think let's wrap it up, and then we should do this again. I want to do a comic book episode next time, and we'll try to interview those other bands, because I have a cool Marvel trivia game that would be fun to play with Tom, because I want to see.
Ooh, I want to try it too.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, it'd be great.
Let's have a
See who's-
sport. Let's start a new game where it's like the most lopsided trivia ever. Like
Okay,
me against
it'll-
Tom, Marvel trivia.
It'll be me and you versus Ralph and Tiff. And
Oh,
Then Tip and I are just gonna keep score.
Yeah.
And just write the
And
numbers
Danny.
down when our guy gets it right.
And
my
Danny,
guy's right.
when Danny shows up, we got to throw Danny in the mix. He's going to eventually come back.
the
Yeah.
answers have to switch between members on the team, so you can't answer the same. Like,
jeez.
I couldn't answer the whole time, Ralph couldn't answer the whole time.
Yeah, you and I are the ringers.
Yeah.
So you guys.
Or we should do
Oh, dear
lopsided
Lord.
trivia, you two against us two.
That would be
Oh,
funny,
God.
On Marvel trivia. Then we'll do hair metal trivia.
You guys
us
get-
two
Yes.
against you two.
You guys get 20 seconds of Wikipedia.
You
Right.
write B-sides
20
trivia.
seconds on Wikipedia, yeah. So, all right. So, Norfolk.
Norfolk, Virginia,
Yeah,
electronic
yeah.
bands.
Electronic
Right.
bands.
Next time we're going to interview Dyne Side and Ghoulgasm, and I made that a plural, Ghoulgasm, and make sure you pre-order this freaking record.
Yeah.
13 years in the making, a whole crap ton of work went into this thing, and it felt like it really was the right time to do this, because actually not having listened to this in like 13 years and then listening to probably the first time I actually listened to this album was the test pressings that Craig sent me. You know, since we made it, because you listen to it so often when you're working on it,
Yeah.
that it's just like you're finally done with it when it's done. But man, it's actually, I'm super proud of it. It really is like it's definitely, you can tell that there was a lot of passion and a lot of like, a lot of work went into it. So
Yeah.
a lot of other guys, contributed as well. So all the other band members, I didn't really give them a shout out, which I kind of regret now. But at the time, they're in the CD, so they got all their credit. But thanks to all the other band members that also contributed to this. It was like a tough one to make. A lot of flip flops going on in the band at the time. So
Everyone in general that's
Yeah.
ever been part of this band.
true.
It's a lot of us. It's not as many as you think, but it is as many as you think.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we've made it through all of it. And somehow we don't hate anyone.
No, nothing but love for everybody.
Yep, we all still like each other.
Yes. So that's it. So tune in next time. We're going to interview Dyne Side, Ghoulgasm, and Craig from Uncommon Interest. I'm going to talk to him too. We'll get him on the line and we'll talk about him. Maybe do some Marvel trivia. So have a great night.
Wait, are you saying like and thumbs up? Oh, we're almost official.
Make sure you
Yeah,
like
you have to
the
like
video.
and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Because, man, we're like Ralph said we're at 151.
Those
Which
are
is what
rookie
we
numbers, though.
Ironically used to blow fire.
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Let's get those up.
No rookie numbers.
Yeah, we got to get them up. So share this crap. Like, subscribe, all the other thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I don't have any.
Anything else? Anything else you need to chime in with?
That was it.
Nope.
Thanks, you guys.
There you go.
See you next time.
Thank you.